Okay, so good evening, everybody, and welcome to the City of Daly City, our State of the City's address this evening. Can you not hear me?
No.
Oh, there we go. Okay, thank you for telling me. All right, let me start again. So good evening, and welcome to Daly City, and to our first State of the Cities that we are giving just as the City of Daly City. So this is our first, and we are so very excited to be able to come together and address you all as members of the council and of our city. So today, I'm just the messenger. I'm speaking on behalf of my colleagues here in the City Council, and these men and women of the council are a tremendous group of people. Let me first start by acknowledging each and every one of them as I know them. Let me first start with Vice Mayor Glenn Sylvester. Let me back up. I forgot to welcome our Supervisor David Canepa. Please welcome him. Our former Supervisor Adrian Tissier. I think that's all the elected officials we have to. Alex Walker from Assemblymember Phil Ting, and from Scott Wiener's office. Alex Wong, thank you for coming. And we also have our city manager, Shauna Maltby, our city attorney, Rose Zimmerman, Chief of Police, Patrick Hensley, our fire chief, Ron Myers, from Water and Wastewater, Tom Piccoletti, Richard True from Public Works, City Treasurer Danica Halverson, where is she? There, okay. Anybody else, ma'am? Who? Joseph Curran from our Director of Library Services. Who else there? Tatum Mothershead, Economic Development Team. I got everybody. Okay, so let me start with my fellow council members. I was wanting to acknowledge and introduce my Vice Mayor, Glenn Sylvester. So Glenn, he's been the mayor of Daly City previously, and he is really one heck of a public servant. A former police officer, and he's the kind of guy that will always have your back. He is one that you would always want standing beside you in any kind of battle or issue you may be facing. He can be both an offensive person and a defensive person, and he is the one I want beside me when the going gets tough. Ladies and gentlemen, our Vice Mayor, Glenn Sylvester. To use a similar analogy, in joining me in any battle or war is Council Member and former Mayor Jocelyn Manalo. Jocelyn, in the same analogy that I've been sort of using, she's the one who I would consider to be our general. She's very strategic, very precise. She is fearless and tireless in all that she does. She is the one that will give you confidence, and she can guide you to victory. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Council Member and former Mayor Jocelyn Manalo. Staying with my analogy, we have Dr. Roderick Daus Magboal. And Dr. Rod is not just called a doctor because he has a doctorate degree. He is the one that I would consider among the council to be sort of the doc or the medic of our troops. Rod is someone who cares about everybody, especially those who are struggling. He is a man with a huge heart and a desire to find the goodness in people. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Roderick Daus Magwan. And then there's Pam. So Pam DiGiovanni has one of the strongest voices and determined voices on the council. I've said this before, God help you if she's on an issue that she cares about. She would be what I would say my comms person, my communication general. She will call in reinforcements and rally people together. She is relentless and never gives up on anything or anyone. Ladies and gentlemen, Pamela DiGiovanni. Let me not forget and especially thank our new city manager, Shauna Maltby. Shauna was unanimously appointed as our city manager just a few months ago. This change has sparked a renewal in our city organization, and we are excited to keep things moving forward in Daly City over the next year with her at the helm and with so many important projects and developments underway. Ladies and gentlemen, our city manager and a fantastic person, Shauna. I also want to especially thank our city attorney, Rose Zimmerman, who lately has been thanked a lot for some reason. And it's because I think we have generally underappreciated her because she sort of sits in the corner and she speaks up, not as much as we all do. But when she does, she speaks up with a lot of knowledge, a lot of strategic decisions, and answers. And so she really guides us through a safe and narrow way and make sure that we're doing everything right according to the law. So thank you, Rose. Let me start by saying what I believe is true, which is that the mark of a great society is how we treat our seniors and our young people. We in Daly City are committed to making our community better for everyone, but in particular to our seniors and our young people. We know that we have a population that is aging, and really everywhere in the U.S., and we want to ensure that our city keeps pace with the needs of our residents. The Center for Age-Friendly Excellence is helping us and 2 other cities in the county achieve an age-friendly designation through the World Health Organization, joining 700 cities in this network worldwide. Daly City is already serving its aging population through many programs based in the Department of Library and Recreation. For example, the Congregate Nutrition Program at the Dolger Senior Center and Lincoln Park Community Center served over 35,000 meals last year to anyone 60 years and older. The program is partially funded by an Older American Act grant and the generous help of many volunteers. When it comes to our youth, just as we focus on aging adults, we also provide an astonishing number of activities and programs for our youth. We offer the after-school recreation program at 3 elementary schools for 1st through 6th graders that includes homework assistance, creative activities, and youth athletics. Last year, we served over 1,489 students. Our summer youth recreation program is a weekly program of positive and exciting social experiences, and we served over 2,000 participants last year. Our minimum wage. Besides enriching experiences to our residents, we also are thinking about economic security. To help in that cause, we enacted a local minimum wage ordinance specific to Daly City, raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour by year 2021. We are now one of 4 cities in San Mateo County to enact a local minimum wage law. I'm proud Daly City can be a leader in this area because we know it's hard to live in the Bay Area where the cost of living continues to climb. Our law raises the minimum wage at a faster pace than the state's legislation, and we need this more than ever in Daly City. Seton Medical Center. We also made sure that our residents continue to have access to quality medical, surgical, and emergency care at Seton Medical Center. Our City Council passed a resolution supporting the current land use and zoning for continued hospital use in September. Seton has been a hospital since 1965 with 357 beds, serving a diverse population of 1.5 million in the region. And I can tell you, I recently met with the ownership group that is proposing to take over Seton Hospital, Dr. Chaudhary and Peter Baranoff. My sense is that they are committed. My hope is that we will keep Seton Hospital. Now, when it comes to financial sustainability, our city budget continues to face an ongoing structural deficit. That's not a secret. During these peak economic times, it has become even more apparent that our tax revenue does not cover the costs of providing the full suite of services to the public. Financial sustainability is a paramount concern in Daly City, as it is in many local governments throughout the country. Even with low unemployment and one of the busiest years on record in issuing permits for developments, we are still not bringing in enough tax revenue to cover our expenses. Daly City is very much dependent on property and sales tax to fund everything from public safety protection to road maintenance and libraries. There is some good news. Our property tax revenue has continued to grow ever since the Great Recession, and our sales tax revenue is also on an upward trend. It is thanks to a robust retail environment that we've created in Daly City. For example, we have welcomed 3 major businesses to Daly City last year, including Sephora, Total Wine and Bassett Furniture. Our success of ballot measures. We are thinking beyond property and sales tax because we need to. Last year, voters in Daly City approved 3 ballot measures that will boost revenue, including a business license tax, a transit occupancy tax, and a cannabis business tax. The great news is that our transit occupancy tax was passed at a good time, as 3 new hotels are proposed on site at Junipero Serra, another site on Junipero Serra at Westlake, and at 6401 Mission Street. There is also talk of a hotel at the site of the horse stables along the coast. Any visitors to our city that stay in our new hotels will pay the updated transit or occupancy tax rate, helping to ensure greater fiscal sustainability for the long term. Thank you to all our citizens that voted in favor of these ballot measures. As a side note, I want to say a special thank you, although I've already thanked her in the beginning. I want to thank our city manager, Shauna Malpe. It was a lot of work to get that done, and the amount of time that we had to get it done, the team that she had to put together, and coordinating everything. And we got it done, and it was because of her great work. So thank you, Shauna. But besides taxes, there are many other ways that the city generates revenue and at the same time makes Daly City a better place to live and work. Our Code Enforcement Division has been busy helping to improve conditions in our neighborhoods, responding to over 2,000 calls for service. That's a lot for a small team of 4 staff members. They help resolve hoarding cases, illegal marijuana grow houses, nearly 400 cases of unpermitted construction, 76 cases of zoning violations, which include residential properties being used for running a business or unapproved secondary living units, and over 1,600 nuisance cases. They also help business owners retrieve 300 abandoned shopping carts from our street, which I know is a problem that many have called and asked for relief from. All of this work translates into revenue. Fees collected from violations, unlicensed rental property, business licenses, and unpermitted construction that triggered building permits generated over $450,000 in revenue. Last year, our City Council commended the Code Enforcement Division with the proclamation of National Code Enforcement Week. Thank you to our code enforcement team for making Daly City a cleaner and safer place to live. Now, when it comes to housing, housing is still on the top of our minds here on the Council. The housing crisis in the Bay Area continues to grow with rising housing prices. We on the City Council have stuck to our commitment that providing affordable housing for residents is paramount, and we have been very busy doing so. We adopted a new inclusionary housing ordinance which drastically improves upon the former affordable housing ordinance in requiring developers to provide affordable units. We also adopted a housing trust fund spending plan, an SB 341 spending plan with allocation for rental assistance, and committed $2.8 million in housing trust funds for the acquisition, rehabilitation, and preservation of 21 units in Daly City. We also conferred with some of our wonderful partners in affordable housing, notably Habitat for Humanity, on the design of 6 affordable ownership units, and Mid-Peninsula Housing Coalition on the design of Midway Village, increasing the number of affordable units from 150 to over 400. We provided grant funding to 10 nonprofits that offer critical social services to over 300 of our residents. And we provided technical assistance and financing to 8 low-income homeowners for repairs to their homes. Building permits were issued for some exciting housing projects that you've already probably heard of by now. The Garden Valley Townhome Project, the 4619 Brunswick Avenue Affordable Senior Project, and the Toll Brothers development at the former Robertson School site. The division continues to exceed revenue projections by processing such a high volume of permit applications. So development has been busy in Daly City. We recently approved the 323 condos and 176 hotel rooms, both at Ceremony Views, 179 apartments, and 3,644 square feet of retail at the Westlake Shopping Center, and over 300 other housing units are still being worked on. We know that this does not solve the housing crisis, but we also know that we are working to create more affordable housing options than most other cities in the Bay Area. Public safety. We have a tremendous public safety departments in both our police and fire. Just last month, we had, it seemed like event after event on sort of feel-good news from our police and fire department. Our fire department set up a scholarship program, and it made big headlines and in the news on how they were able to be in touch with the family of someone that they helped deliver their baby. It was a touching moment a feel-good moment, and we seem to be getting a lot more of that here in Daly City. Our police department recently came back from a trip to the Philippines, where they donated a tremendous amount of money, resources, and their time in helping the children, the poor children of the Philippines. Last year, our police officers responded to 73,291 calls for service. That's about 200 calls of service a day. Our officers also took 9,421 reports. That's averaging 26 cases a day. Thank you to our police force for helping keep Daly City safe. Both our general crime level and overall arrest statistics are down. The police department does all of this with reduced staffing, with 8 frozen officer positions and 2 frozen sergeant positions. Overtime costs increase and traffic fine revenue decrease with the reduced capacity, but they are now hiring. Our police department also participates in the Drug Enforcement Agency task forces, the county's narcotic task force, and the vehicle theft task force, as well as in the gang task force deployments and the countywide traffic enforcement program. I know from their reports that they are routinely getting illegal guns off the street, something this council is very concerned about. Our fire department. I don't know if you watch a lot of social media or Facebook, but our fire department is out there putting out fires and risking their lives all the time. The fire that I recently saw over at the Westlake Apartments, it was a scary thing to watch, but yet what you see in our fire department is them running towards the danger and doing everything they can to help our people in Daly City. And they have done a lot with a lot less. And one of our goals on the council is to do better by them, to them, for us. This year, let me talk about Public Works. This year, Daly City celebrates the 108th anniversary of its incorporation. Imagine that. We are 108 years old. Thinking back to what Daly City used to be, rolling hills dominated by agriculture, to the full-fledged urban environment it has evolved into now. The transformation is quite striking. Photos adorn the walls on the top of City Hall that gives a glimpse into our past, all supplied by the Daly History Guild and the Arts and Culture Commission, one of our great commissions of Daly City. In the current day, Daly City is one of the most densely populated cities in the entire country. As we have grown denser, shedding our largely suburban roots for a more urban environment, some growing pains have surfaced along the way. How do we protect a growing number of bicyclists on our streets? How do we improve pedestrian safety? Ensure ADA access to all our facilities? Add new green space and grow our urban forest? I'm happy to report that the city, many times in partnership with its residents, has been tackling these issues head-on. Our Public Works Department has been very successful in securing $4.8 million grant funding for various projects last year. They also managed to repair 14 miles of streets and completed $4 million in capital improvement projects. Public Works has also kicked off a variety of planning efforts, like the Parks and Open Space Master Plan. And also, did you know that there are 25 parks in Daly City? Most people don't realize that we have that many amenities. There is also a bike and pedestrian master plan that is compiling hundreds of community comments about how to improve safety on our roads and intersections. There's the Vision Zero project, the Systematic Safety and Analysis Report Program, and the Safe Routes to School project, to name a few. We are taking safety on our roadways seriously, and we are thinking about how to improve mobility. Last year, we saw a 28% increase in riderships of the Bayshore Shuttle, which is fully funded by grants, thanks to Supervisor Canepa, who has been a champion of that shuttle. Parking. There is one problem on our streets that has been more difficult to address, and that is clearly parking. As we all know, many of our folks park off-street, blocking sidewalks, often out of necessity. We only enforce on this on request because it is such a sensitive issue to everyone. But I'm happy to report that the city will be kicking off a parking summit this summer. We will revisit some of the ideas around parking regulation, and permitting that might improve the conditions of our neighborhoods. I hope that you will consider participating and sharing your voice in this summit, because we depend on you as our citizens to inform our policies. Our parking problem is not going to go away unless we come together and try to solve it together. Can't just kick it down the road anymore. It is getting to the point where it is becoming unbearable for many. Oh, thank you. Engagement. Our citizens are growing more and more engaged with the city over time, and it's been promising to see that happen. We need our citizens to partner with us to solve civic problems together. The reason is that we simply don't have enough funding to go around. I'm inspired by just how much we have so much volunteerism. The Volunteer Leadership Program, for example, accounted for over 15,000 community service hours last summer. Then we dedicated volunteers at Dolger and Lincoln Community Center, amassing close to 40,000 hours of service last year, helping at the libraries, in the deli, in the exercises classes, and more. Our Project Green Space volunteers planted over 200 trees last year, installed a mini park in the Bayshore with native trees and plants, and will continue their quest to grow our urban forest this year with almost 400 more trees planted by the end of spring. Our staff also has active community members. Take the police, for example, who hosted National Night Out at Serramonte and the gun buyback event to take hundreds of firearms off our streets. Our fire department has also excelled at working with our community. They provided free flu shots at the fire station, held a fire service day to invite the public to the fire station for demonstrations and educational information, and routinely hold CPR and emergency preparedness classes. I am proud that our fire department has achieved a 98% customer satisfaction rating in delivering emergency and non-emergency services. They do a great job with their annual inspection of businesses and apartment complexes. The recent stories of residential fires in Daly City that I mentioned did not cause any loss of life, largely due to our fire response. And despite our reduced hours at the library, over 48,000 residents have library cards, are checking out nearly 400,000 physical items and over 30,000 electronic items last year. Our libraries provide so many opportunities for education and enrichment. They offered over 500 early literacy sessions, after-school activities, workshops, and special events, attracting over 18,000 participants. So we've accomplished a lot, and there is still more of what we as a council want to do. I can say that our state of the city is very strong. I think we are seeing a bit of a renaissance in Daly City. I'm excited by the potential developments like the hotels that we have wanted to do for so long. There is a movement in Daly City. Daly City is open for businesses and actively looking to boost its commercial sector. We will be hiring an economic development coordinator and implementing our economic development strategy. We need to, we must do it. And more importantly, we'll remain laser focused on fiscal sustainability, some of which you'll hear about at our council meeting tonight if you decide to stay. Daly City is a very special place. I think it's why people won't leave. Someone asked me the other day, what's so great about it? And I said that the mark of a great city is when people don't want to leave. And that's says so much about who we are as a community, as a city, and as a people. Daly City is a special place. Along the border of San Francisco and along the favored route to the South Bay, Interstate 280. Next to an unspoiled stretch of Pacific coastline with an improving system of parks and roadways, with one of the largest open spaces in the region, San Bruno Mountain, rising along our border, beckoning to our residents to get out and enjoy the last vestige of what our region used to look like. We have a low crime rate, a tolerant community, and a variety of urban amenities. Now we just need some more businesses to move here. I am confident that we are on the cusp of a more prosperous Daly City. And let me say this about that. Change is going to be painful. That's just the nature of change. And what I ask of you as our residents is to give it a chance. There will always be conflict, and there will always be people who are resistant to changing. But give it a chance, because what we, this council, what we are trying to do is to make your lives better. And it's not easy. We know that. And it's not easy to accept change. We know that. And what we are trying to do is just that, making your lives better. So during the coming months or years, if you see ideas, if you see things changing, give it a chance. Talk to me. Talk to them. Let us explain it to you in real terms. And then if you're still unhappy, talk again. Don't stop. Because that's the thing about change. Change begets change. And it's just a cycle that must happen. Otherwise, we go nowhere. As I said earlier, we have accomplished a lot as a city, but we still have a lot more to do. I'm proud of our people. I'm proud of our community, and I'm proud of this council. We're going to get there, but we need your help too. So thank you for joining me for this State of the City. I'm very honored to serve you, the people of Daly City, as my colleagues are. We look forward to a tremendous, successful year, and thank you for being here. Thank you. But I want to turn this over to just my counsel to just say a few words. I think it would be nice to hear from them. Let me start with the Vice Mayor.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out this evening. I believe what you've just heard this evening, the mayor has said it all. And I can't overemphasize what he has said, and that is this council. This council is primarily aligned in a lot of interests. And when you have such an alignment, things will happen. I need to also emphasize we are so happy and proud of our city manager, Ms. Shauna Maltby, because you will see the things that have come about, and it happened so quickly. And she puts her heart into it. I mean, when you can send emails at 2:30 in the morning and get a response, that's saying something. But I'll try not to do that anymore. And our city attorney, Ms. Zimmerman, it's like you've blossomed. Every time I hear her speak, I just have to look because she has that prowess. And I'm just so happy to be here, and also with the council, and of course the citizens of Daly City. Thank you so much. We will forge ahead. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Dr. Rob.
I think one thing that I taken from this address is I feel like I was almost having you made me think about certain things in so many different perspectives. And I think that's one thing of a person that's of a great leader. I just want to say thank you to you, Ray. Thank you to the rest of the council for mentoring me. And you think about change. Change is hard. You know, I'm in this position where I'm changing, and I'm wearing so many different hats, from being a father to an educator to working with nonprofits. But understanding that tension. And understanding this tension is this metaphor of a knot. And when I think of a knot, it's like you take the understandings of what happened in the past, what we envision in the future, and with this tension in the present, what do we hope that we want to bring? And within this tension, there will be spaces of conflict, but there's also spaces of hope. And I think you encaptured that whole feeling of this tension of what we can envision for a new Daly City. So thank you, Ray.
Thank you, Rob. Councilmember.
Mr. Mayor, thank you so much for the eloquent speech and really sharing with our community. As our leader, you've mentioned actually everything that is what we've done and what is to look forward to. And I think we have something so much to look forward to. If you're not seeing it now, there's a lot ahead of us, and together with the community. So thank you to the community. Thank you to my colleagues and your fearless leadership, Mayor Vidaventura. And I think, as mentioned, you know, there's synergy here at the dais. And when there's synergy at the dais, things can move forward. It's not saying that everything will be jovial, but it's going to bring forth, I think there's a lot of alignment around the care for this community. And so I am just honored and humbled to work with you, Mr. Mayor, and my colleagues. Thank you.
Mr. Giovanni.
Perfect accent, excuse me. First of all, I'd like to thank the mayor, because when he said he was going to run again for re-election, because he said he wasn't done yet. So I think he wasn't done yet, because now we do have the synergy, and we do want to take care of our public safety for our community, and we have those common goals that we can work together along with the partners in the community and with our police and our fire and our new city manager. Again, already her door was open today. I had questions and I texted her, and she said, can you come at this time to meet? She had everything down. She answered the questions. She had the department head come in, and I don't think this was something that was regularly happening before. So that open door policy, knowing that she's easy to work with, along with the council here, and I think that that's the idea, that we're going to work together along with the community, and we have a transparency and accountability and commonality to work on the issues to make our community safer and make it safer for our police and our fire, and make it safer for all of us, and quality of life. So those are the things we're going to strive for. We didn't say it was going to be easy. And again, our city attorney, when she put the measures together, I was very impressed, because I felt that a lot of things were unleashed now that we have a start and we're turning the boat around. So I don't know if any of the community members, I've been out in the community, felt it, but I feel it, the energy in the room. I feel it on the council, and it stems from now that our city manager is confirmed as our city manager, and we're moving ahead together. So looking forward to it with our colleagues. Thank you very much, and thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, so I think we have cake, right? Okay, so this State of the City address is over. Enjoy the cake. Our meeting will start in another 10 minutes, so enjoy.
You're the Good job.